Hey guys, welcome back to my channel for an extreme closet clean out. I'm actually going to be going through all of the closets in my home for myself and my two daughters, and also our dressers as well, because I was feeling very inspired by the KonMari method of decluttering, and I just wanted to do a complete clothing overhaul and a huge clothing purge. So this is going to give a lot of satisfying before and after shots for all of these spaces throughout my home, but I am going to be starting in my closet first, and I am first going to sort through everything that I have hanging up in my closet. Now, I am one of those people who does not store away off-season items, so all of my winter clothes are out in the summer and all of my summer clothes are out in the winter, which means that it's very easy for me to do a KonMari method decluttering, at least for my clothing items, because I always have it all available to me, and everything that you're seeing me sort through today is literally everything that I have. We were all caught up on laundry. I made sure to do that before I started the decluttering, and if you are going to be doing a clothing declutter, I would absolutely recommend that. That would be my number one tip, is to make sure that all of your clothes are clean so that you can go through it all at once. And then my second tip would be to be realistic with yourself about how you go about decluttering. For example, I am going to be decluttering all of the items that no longer fit, because they probably won't fit me again for a while, and so I don't need to waste my time and energy storing them. And also all of the items that are no longer my style or that I just reach over instead of reaching for, I'm going to be realistic with myself and go ahead and declutter those items. It also works the opposite way, where you don't want to declutter too much. Remember, decluttering is not synonymous with minimalism, and so don't put that pressure on yourself to get rid of items that you actually love or have a nostalgic attachment to or anything like that, because you may regret it later on, and then that will deter you from future decluttering projects. So go ahead and be realistic with yourself about your declutter, whatever that looks like for you, and just feel encouraged and motivated to tackle these projects the way that works best for you. But as you can see, I went through all of my clothes and my shoes, and now I am working on all of these random things that I just shove into the closet, because we have a small house and small closets really, but our house is under 1,500 square feet and we don't have a garage or a basement, so we have very limited storage space, and I am so guilty of just picking things up out of the main living spaces of our home and shoving them into closets, and that's how our closets get out of control. So if you are the same way, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up so I know that I am not alone. But now I have moved on to my dresser drawers, and while I hang up all of my formal wear, hoodies, sweatshirts, and t-shirts in my closet, I store all of my shorts, pants, underwear, pajamas, and tank tops in my dresser drawers. And so I had a lot to go through here, and I pretty much did it by category. So I pulled all of my shorts and pants out at once, and then I did all of my pajamas and then all of my tank tops, so that I could make sure I had enough room and time to touch every single item, assess whether it was serving a purpose for me or not, and of course I'm going to donate everything that is no longer serving me and keep only the items that I am currently wearing, loving, and feeling good in. I did have a goal of freeing up at least one entire drawer, and I actually did that, so I was really proud of myself and happy with the way that this went. You may have noticed that I do have all of my clothes folded in the KonMari method of folding as well, and I love it because I feel like I can see everything that I have, and it's also a very space-saving manner of folding your clothes, so I can appreciate that as well. It allows you to store more items in a smaller space. Now, I only started doing this a couple of years ago, but prior to that, I always folded my clothes the same way that my mom did when I was growing up. which is most similar to how you see things folded on tables in stores, where things are neatly folded but they're kind of stacked on top of each other. That's the way that my mom always did it, and that's the way that my drawers were growing up, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. Fold your clothes however makes you feel comfortable, but I will say that I have noticed I keep my drawers so much more organized now using the KonMari method of folding, and it is easier for me to keep up with the organization than when I folded my clothes the other way, and that's just because I'm not having to dig through everything to find what I'm looking for, and so then I don't have to take extra time to refold and stack everything. I can just easily pluck out the exact item that I'm wanting because I can see it and just pick it up instead of having to dig through anything. So if you are struggling with keeping your dresser drawers organized or getting frustrated with that, maybe consider trying out the KonMari method of folding and storing your clothing items and see if that helps you any. Once I had all of my decluttered items packed up for donation, I just wanted to show you the after shots of my closet and my dresser, and you can see this is a huge transformation. These spaces are only currently storing exactly what is needed, wanted, and worn, and nothing else, and that just feels so good to finally have gotten all of those other things decluttered from my space. I also wanted to show you an overview of all of the decluttered items so you could see exactly what I was going to be donating, and this pile was massive. I would say that I decluttered at least 50% of my wardrobe, and that felt really good. But I am about to triple that donation pile because I'm going to move on to my daughter's closets and dressers, and I am starting in my toddler's bedroom. Her name is Sawyer, and I do hang up a lot of her clothes and also use her closet as storage, but then we use her nightstands as dresser drawers, and as you can see, they are just packed full. I'm really bad about holding on to tiny clothes, and so I don't declutter these as much as I probably should. I'm going to start by sorting through all of her hanging clothes, and there won't be very much to declutter here. Mostly I'm just going to remove everything that isn't her current size because I know that these are her most loved clothes. She gets dressed out of her closet more often than anywhere else because my girl loves to wear dresses, and that's where we hang all of her dresses. But once I had sorted through those, I pulled down all of those storage bins that are currently storing hand-me-down and off-season items, and also emptied those drawers from the nightstand that I had in her closet so that I could start sorting through all of these items, checking their size as well as their wear, and making my appropriate piles of what we were going to keep and what we were going to donate. All of those storage bins that you see on the bed came out of Sawyer's closet, and that's where I like to store away some hand-me-down items that Kinsley has outgrown but Sawyer doesn't currently fit into, or also clothing items that I find on clearance and I buy in sizes up that Sawyer isn't currently fitting into, but I just can't pass up the deal. Now, those used to be super organized, but then they kind of just got out of control and I would just shove things in there. I definitely needed to sort through them and distinguish what is worth holding on to and what isn't. We have a lot of Kinsley's hand-me-downs, but the girls have very different styles, and I want to make sure that I am respecting that as Sawyer grows up. So I decided to go ahead and donate all of the hand-me-down items that aren't Sawyer's personal style, and I don't want to force her to wear them if she's not going to feel happy and confident in them. And of course, I did keep the items that I know she will enjoy just as much as Kinsley did. I also decided to go ahead and store away her off-season items because we do use the girls' nightstands as their dressers. There is limited drawer space, and so I felt like it would be a lot more organized and just easier to store their clothes away if I was taking the time to put those winter clothes out of the drawers for now. And then of course, when fall and winter comes back around, then I will switch everything out for her then. Because we keep those storage bins right there in her closet, they are easily accessible, and so it wasn't a big hassle to store away off-season items. I didn't have to find any kind of creative or new storage for them, put them in an attic or under the bed or anything like that. They're just right there, and it will be really easy for us to switch them out when the time comes. For anyone who may be curious about why we keep the girls' clothes in their nightstand drawers instead of getting them dressers, it's really just a space-saving thing for us. Both of the girls have really small rooms. Kinsley's is the smallest room in the entire house, but Sawyer's room is also pretty small, and so there's not really enough space for us to put a dresser in there and also have enough room for them to enjoy playing and living in their rooms. So this just works out for us for now. They are both small enough that between their hanging clothes in their closets and the clothes that we keep in their nightstands, we are able to adequately store a full wardrobe for them without needing a dresser. Now, I do know that as they get older, this will no longer be realistic. Hopefully by then we will have moved into a different house where they have larger bedrooms and more space for furniture. I was really happy with everything that I was able to declutter out of Sawyer's closet and wardrobe. We went ahead and donated these to a local women and children's shelter, and it always feels so good when we are able to make a sizable donation of quality clothes in good condition, because I know that they are just so absolutely grateful for it, and it's just a nice feeling to be able to bless someone that way. I ended up with 3 large bags full to donate to them, and all of that came out of this closet and the nightstand drawers, which you can see is a huge transformation. There's so much more space in them now, and it's a lot easier for Sawyer to pick out her own clothes. I do see her reaching into her drawers more than she ever has before, and so I think that clutter in there before may have been what was deterring her. But look at all of these clothing items, blankets, and shoes that we were able to go ahead and get out of this space. They were no longer serving a purpose for us, and they will be serving a purpose for someone else now. And once I was done in Sawyer's room, I am going to move on to Kinsley's bedroom. Like I said, she has the smallest room in the house, and it is a lot of stuff that we are trying to store away in her closet and in her drawers. Her drawers were just so hard to even open. There's so much stuff just shoved into them, and I was ready to go ahead and tackle this and get it to be a lot more manageable for her and for me. I felt like Kinsley's clothing items were the easiest to sort through because it was really just looking at the tags and making sure they were her correct current size. But everything else that I had shoved in this closet is what was really overwhelming when I was decluttering this specific area. It was just absolutely nuts. Even looking back at the footage, I cannot believe how much I had just stowed away in there, and definitely not in any kind of organized or aesthetic manner because it just looked like a hot mess. It was a hot mess and it was a lot to go through. I had some unused decor items in there, a ton of arts and crafts supplies, and things like dried up paint and ripped up construction paper and all kinds of stuff. So there's actually a lot of things that needed to be trashed in there, as well as a lot of things that we could go ahead and donate. I was glad that I finally took the time to go through all of it and kind of condense the mess that was overwhelming her closet, but it also was very overwhelming to me as well. I'm not even going to lie. So if I were to go back and do this again, I might stick to the true KonMari method next time and only do the clothing items first and then revisit it at a separate time to do arts and crafts supplies and then toys at a different time and all of that. I was kind of just in that decluttering and organizing mode, and I was in the home stretch here. I could see the light at the end of the tunnel, and so I thought maybe I'll just go ahead and get all of this decluttered and organized at once. So even though it was overwhelming in the moment, looking back, it was totally worth it. Kinsley has been playing with these things a lot more ever since I took the time to declutter them and reorganize, and she has also thanked me numerous times for freeing up some space for her, and especially in her little nightstand drawers. It's so much easier for her to put her clothes away now and to keep things organized, and she has definitely expressed her gratitude to me, so that made it all completely worth it. We have so many arts and crafts and project supplies because Kinsley is an artist soul through and through. If you are a longtime viewer or subscriber, then you probably already know that. This girl creates art from the time she wakes up until the time she goes to bed. She is constantly drawing, coloring, painting, and she especially loves to create art out of things like toilet paper rolls and discarded items. She loves to repurpose what other people would call trash and create art out of it. She has expressed on multiple occasions that she would love to be an artist featured in the Washington, D.C. Sculpture Garden when she grows up, and she is definitely on a pathway to that. Anyway, we have a ton of arts and crafts supplies all the time, and they are just kind of scattered throughout the house. I have all of these that I'm storing in Kinsley's closet, but we also have some in our family room and other closets in the house, and it is very overwhelming. In 7 years of being her mother, I have never come up with a really good organization system for these supplies that works out long term, and it's very frustrating for me. I don't think she cares quite so much, but it is really frustrating for me. So if any of you mamas out there are very crafty yourselves or are mothering crafty children, and you have any tips or tricks or an organization system that you have figured out that works really well for you, I would so appreciate it if you could leave that in the comment section for me. Like I said, it has been a huge struggle for me, probably the number one struggle I have in organizing any area of my home, and I would love to be able to finally figure out something that works for us. So if you have something that works for you, let me know what it is, and hopefully I could try it out in my home and it would work for us too. I have been thinking about getting some drawer organizers for the girls' drawers, but also for my dressers as well. I love doing the KonMari method of folding like I was talking about earlier, but I do have to admit that if a drawer is not packed full of clothing items, then a lot of them can start slouching and they just don't really stand up the way that you would want them to. And I would love to find a solution for that. So if any of you use drawer organizers for your clothes in your dressers or nightstands and you love them, definitely leave those recommendations for me because I could use them. Here we are with Kinsley's closet completely decluttered and reorganized, and I personally feel like it is a night and day difference. I know that she is loving it so much more, and especially with having her nightstand drawers cleaned out, she is really appreciating being able to put her clothes away a lot easier than she was before. I also wanted to show you an overview of everything that we ended up donating. This is from Kinsley's closet first, and then also mine and Sawyer's. We just have this massive pile here. It ended up being something like 9 full bags of clothing items, and then a lot of donations of supplies and unused decor pieces that we ended up taking to Goodwill as well. It completely filled up the back of our SUV, but I hope that you all enjoyed this video and that it was super motivating and encouraged you to tackle a decluttering project that you may have been putting off for a while. If you did enjoy, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you aren't already. Turn on your notification bell so that you don't miss any of my future uploads. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I will see you in the next one.